Hey, this is Brei Carter, and you're watching the Power Hour with DJ Larry Jones on Indie Central TV.
All right, you know what time it is. It's time for the Power Hour. I'm your host, DJ Larry Jones, a.k.a. Mr. Important. If you don't know me, then you don't know anybody. And I have a special guest joining me today. She has a lovely voice. I'm just going to jump right into it. Country western singer, Miss Brei. How are you, Brei?
I'm fabulous, DJ Larry. How about you?
I'm doing well. Now, you know what? We talked about what 2 or 3 days ago, and you got a lovely spirit, a beautiful spirit, and I just had a blast talking to you. First off, let me start off by saying thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you. It is my
And
pleasure just to be here with you. So thank you.
absolutely, it's an honor to have you. I want to start from the beginning. Let's just start from the beginning before we jump into your music and everything like that. There's so much I want to talk about. Uh, now straight from the beginning, where are you from? From Louisiana, isn't it?
I am from Louisiana, so I am a Southern belle, Southern girl, true and true. As a kid, I grew up on the West Coast too, but originally I am from Louisiana. So yes.
Okay, now being from the South, I take it you have a lovely voice. Did
Thank you.
that voice? You're welcome. Did that voice develop in church? Because most African American people we start out in church.
For
Is
sure.
that where it started from you for you?
You know what? That's exactly where it started. The downside to that is that unfortunately, I didn't find my voice when I was little because I have a huge family of singers, like my aunts, my mom, my uncles. Everyone used to sing all the time, and I never truly found my voice until I was really an adult. I used to like to sing, but I was kind of in the background. So now, as an adult, I get to come to the foreground of it.
Right. Now, who are some of the people you listen to coming up?
Aretha Franklin, listened to Loretta Lynn, Patsy Cline, Mr. Charlie Pride, Alabama, Tanya Tucker, Tammy Wynette. There's a huge list um, of people that I listen to. The Temptations. So I had like a lot of different influences. So I had the R&B and I had the country. I even had rock like Rod Stewart. So I really grew up listening to a lot of different things.
Right, right. Now, was being a singer something you always wanted to do? Is that something that you just knew in your heart that hey, listen, I want to be a singer when I get older? Was that something that you wanted to do?
You know what I did? I thought about it. I actually said it. If someone asked, well, if you could do anything, what would you be? I'm like, I'd love to be a country singer. And I was just a little kid at the time, loving wearing my cowgirl boots. My mom said she couldn't get me out of them. And lo and behold, many years later, here I am and fulfilling God's destiny for my life.
Yeah, yeah. Amen. Amen. Because you got a beautiful talent. You're a beautiful talent.
Thank
Now,
you.
you're welcome. What is it about country music that just draws you to it?
It's the story, it's the music. I'm a sucker for the fiddle. I love anytime I can add a fiddle to my music, my songs, I'm trying to add it in there. Even sometimes when it may not need to be there, I'm like, hey, can we put a fiddle there? So it's just the music, it's the rhythm, it's just everything about it. It's the storytelling. So it's something that actually literally speaks to my heart, it speaks to my soul. So
Wow. Now, I feel like there's so much to you. Now, you were in the military as well.
I
What
was.
was that experience like?
You know what? I wouldn't trade it for the world. If I had it to do all over again, honestly, I would. With all the craziness that's going on in the world, some people are like, no military. I would sign on the dotted line once again. I mean, it just taught me so much. It's just the discipline and just willing to lay down my life for my country, for others. I mean, it is a truly, in my opinion, it's a selfless act. Anyone that joins, the military, because your life isn't your own. And U.S. Army stands for Uncle Sam ain't released me yet. So, in other words, the government owns you, and you're doing this not just for yourself. You're doing this. Sure, you get the benefits, but you really are doing this for your country, for your loved ones.
I felt like that was a title to a song you should write. Uncle Sam ain't released me yet.
There you go.
Now, did I read it somewhere, or did you tell me while we were talking the other day that you were in an accident?
Yes, I was in a horrible accident, January of 2021. I was driving from Nashville going back to Illinois because I go back and forth a lot of times. And literally, the car locked up. And the next thing I know, I literally ended up down in the ditch. And I literally, they were, you know, how they have all the different cones and what have you. I came short. I knocked out, they said I knocked out 12. There were only like two cones remaining. So, had I'm just gonna say God, the angels not been there, I would not honestly, we wouldn't be here because I would have hit the bridge. I mean, the
Right.
airbags deployed, they had to cut me out of there. The car was totaled. And initially they thought I fractured my C1, C4, and what have you. So, which meant they would have needed to airlift me to a different hospital because it was off the interstate in a small town. And just by the grace of God, I'm really here. So I know God has a purpose for me. So I just try to live life to the fullest every day.
Right. Right. Now, how are you doing today? Any physical challenges from that? Are you
You
okay?
know what? I do. If I'm honest, I do. But you know what? It can't stop me. You just keep moving.
There
You
you
know what?
go.
There's a lot of people. I spoke to someone earlier this morning and she was just like, they're interested in me doing a festival in Virginia this summer. And she was sharing with me she has bad neuropathy. She barely can walk. She has no feelings in her legs and what have you. And it's so many people out there, they just complain. So whatever woes and aches I have, there are people out there that are worse than me. And I'm just thankful and grateful, honestly, to be here. And I'll take the bumps and the bruises to still be able to keep moving and doing the things that I do.
Yeah, and I'm so happy you're still here with us, and the good Lord spared your life. And
Yes. Thank you,
yeah,
Lord.
there's a mission. You're on a mission, and you're doing very well. Now, going back to country music, right? Uh, what are some of the challenges you face, if any, being an African American woman in country music? Is there any challenges to that?
Of course, there are challenges because it's not although country music originated in the African American community. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't accept that. So, unfortunately, for many years, it's been predominantly white male dominated industry, and people gravitate towards that. And we all have different stories, and you don't necessarily have to be in the you don't have to have not necessarily grew up in the South to actually for it to resonate in your spirit and your soul and stuff like that. And people have this misnomer that you know what it is the white male that has the story to tell or the white female, but there's so many of us. There are African Americans, there's Latinos, there's Asian Americans, there's so many different nationalities and ethnic groups that actually could do country music, but it's not necessarily really opened up yet fully for
Right,
all ethnicities,
right. Because everybody has a story to tell.
for sure.
And if you just put that into music, and a lot of time, well, I don't want to get too deep into it, but what are some of the challenges? I mean, if you can talk about it, and I know you probably can't get into it too
Yeah,
deep.
no, definitely. Hey, we are here to talk about this and put it out there. The unfortunate thing is sometimes you're proving yourself to white people that are thinking that this is part of a ploy or something that you're trying to do. But I know that it's me. People are like, why country? Why not country? Why did you decide country? Well, I didn't decide country. Country decided me. So that's the thing. It's not something that I went out and said, hey, well, this seems like a good area to get into for an opportunity. No, it chose me. It's who I am. And it's in my heart of hearts. It's in me. It's ingrained in me. I grew up with it and it's who I am and it's what I love to do. But it's sad because sometimes the whites don't accept you. But then on the flip side, some of the African Americans don't accept you. So there's just, you get judgment on both ends. And I just think you just have to take a step back, got to pray to God, and you got to be comfortable in your own skin, regardless of who accepts you or doesn't accept you. When you're on a mission and you're fulfilling God's purpose for you in your life, you're in your destiny, you keep going regardless.
That's right. Listen, they said tennis was a white person sport, and look at Venus and Serena. They said golf
Right.
was a white person sport. Look at Tiger Woods,
For
and
sure.
now look at you.
There you go. Brei
You
Carter, y'all.
Brei Carter, right? Brei Carter. We can talk all day long. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. It's a pleasure having you on the show. It's and you and I talked about some things that we're gonna do as far as business goes. So we're
Yes,
gonna keep that alive.
for sure.
Now let's talk about the festival. Do you know too much? Do you know much about it?
Yes, it's I think it's going to be August the 13th in Virginia. It's the Shenandoah Country Festival that we're looking at doing. So it's kind of up in the air right now. We're just trying to finalize some things. If everything works out, I will be in Virginia in August doing that. But this coming up week, I'm actually going to be in Las Vegas playing at Tommy Rockers, and then I'll also be in St. Louis, Missouri, performing at a place called Blue Strawberry. So hey, you guys want to see me? Give me a call, book me. I'm right there. I love doing country music. I love making people happy. We all have a story to tell. It's about us encouraging one another and lifting one another up at the end of the day.
That's right. That's right. Now I want to try to make it to the Virginia show
I
and
love that.
get some behind the scenes footage.
Okay.
Bring the cameras out. So we're gonna definitely talk about that.
I would
You
love
know,
that.
and I hate I'm gonna miss you in Vegas because I do have the Power Hour live from Las Vegas, and I'll probably be out there in late May. So
Okay. That's
I'll
okay.
miss you. But we're gonna
Look,
link up in Virginia.
look, my heart goes to you. We're
Yes, yes,
connected now.
yes.
It's not going away. So
No,
we're so connected now. So we will be in touch. So we're gonna see each other.
yes, definitely. Bria, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. Much love. Keep doing what you're doing, and your music is fabulous. You know what? Why don't you go ahead on and introduce a video, any video that you've got, and we're gonna play it right after this interview.
You know what? We're going to do Here's to Nowhere. Here's to Nowhere by Brei Carter. Because what it means and stands for is that you should be happy no matter where you're from. And as long as you got the love of your friends and your family, and that's all that matters. Celebrate where you're from and how you grew up. Because I guarantee you, once you start getting older and what have you, you're going to wish you were back in those same situations. So here's to nowhere. Here's to wherever you're from.
There you go, Brei Carter.
Thank you.
Everybody's got 'em. Nobody wants to hit bottom and stay there. Everybody wants to go somewhere. Big bucks, corporate ladders, looking past everything that matters for a leg up. Won't take less than the good stuff. Makes me wanna raise my cup. Here's to nowhere. Well, I'm good right where I am, 'cause I got cold beer and the love of all my friends. I don't need the next best thing. My heart's where it's supposed to be. I'm fulfilled, 'cause I'm already there. Here's to nowhere. Nothing's wrong with a one-light town. There's not much going down, just the same old same. Well, everybody knows your name. Hello comes from the heart, a place where second chances are a way of life. Nobody gets left behind. I love this precious town of mine. Here's to nowhere. Well, I'm good right where I am, 'cause I got cold beer and the love of all my friends. Don't need the next best thing. My heart's where it's supposed to be. I'm fulfilled, 'cause I'm already there. Here's to nowhere. Woo! Oh yeah! and the love